It's probably as busy as the gym gets. So I'm feeling really self-conscious about this whole filming thing, even though this is the gym I've been in for years and years. Last time I posted about pin pressing, I got a lot of shit for it, which I'm not really bothered by. But maybe this long form content is good to go in detail on a little bit on more complex ideas. So basically full range for a pack is if I put my shoulder blade back and down and bring my upper arm behind me, and this is how far I can get, and this is full range for my pack, I can already here start feeling some tension in the front of my shoulder joint, not the good kind of tension either. So that's my end range. Of course I can wiggle myself into places to bring my upper arm even further back, but that would require some sort of rotation. So active range for the pack is how far you can bring your upper arm back without letting your shoulder blade come up or without rotating your upper arm. And basically when I do a pin press, I just set up the pin in order to spend more time at this bottom, at the end range. So I got a lot of shit last time I posted about this from people saying, oh, that's not end range, you need to touch the bar to your chest. Some people can, some people can't. Instead of a sort of uniform measure of whether the bar is touching your chest or not, your active range should be determined by your structure. And a better definition is how far you can bring your upper arm back without your upper arm rotating. So I was working until 11:30 last night, and I started packing up the kitchen and then had a shower and everything and woke up at 5:20 in order to get here for my 7 a.m. session. So this is one of those days where obviously I didn't have that much sleep, so I'm not expecting miracles. Actually, if I'm able to just maintain reps on most movements and maybe gain one or two movements, it's gonna be perfectly enough for me. Reality is my current priority is delivering for my clients. The second priority is growing the business, and my own fitness and muscle building is really the third priority only. So you can often find, I think, that a lot of the best coaches, if they want to be the best, they need to sacrifice some of their own progress, because realistically they're busy enough with both their clients and with their business that they won't be able to perform their own best. So they won't be able to perform as full-time bodybuilders either. Honestly, I've never seen this gym this busy. All right, so on the next set, I'm trying to get 7 reps. If I get 7 reps, I'm golden. Yeah, let's do it. Oh.
Mission failed. We'll get them next time.
Massive failure. Next movement is a JM press. I'm just going to do a little elbow warm up to start. Or drop it on my head. Nearly. So when I'm doing this, I just want to really tuck my upper arms in. And I want the bar to sort of end at top of my chest. So I'm putting my shoulder blades on, tucking my elbows in close to my body. As I'm getting a little bit more tired or closer to failure, I'm just focusing on not letting my elbow come out and away. Obviously, the more out and away my elbow comes from my body, the more chest I will be able to recruit. The goal is to keep them tucked in, keep it all on the tricep. Obviously, if I wanted to target the chest, this would be not a weight worth doing. What I'm trying to say is, obviously your tricep is much smaller, much weaker than your chest, so if you want to, you can always compensate with a lot of chest for the tricep, but it's obviously not the goal. So it's shoulder blades down, upper arms tucked in. 2 sets here as well. Oh, that felt quite easy. So previously I was doing a lot of single joint tricep, and as a result of that, over the years my lateral had ended up completely slacking. I have quite a decent medial, definitely good long head, but the lateral is just really slacking. Unfortunately, it took me years of doing it wrong to realize that if you want more of a lateral head, you just need to include multi-joint tricep exercises. And by multi-joint, I mean it's not just the elbow moving, but the elbow and the shoulder simultaneously. As you do that, the long head will be changing length to a much lesser extent. So the long head crosses both the elbow joint as well as the shoulder joint. So if you lock your shoulder joint in place, you will be lengthening and shortening the long head as well as the other heads. But as soon as you go on to a multi-joint one, basically any sort of tricep heavy pressing, as you shorten the long head at the elbow, simultaneously you're lengthening it at the shoulder, so the length change in the long head will not be as significant, and because of that, proportionally all the other tricep muscles will be working much more. So basically, if you want to have your lateral head work more relative to all the other heads, you want to include some multi-joint tricep. Strawberry Monster, super underrated flavor. Everyone hates it. I don't love it, but all the other Monsters are, I think, even worse at the moment. I know the white is a classic. It's a boring classic. It's been too long. And some of the really good ones got taken away. Yellow, I will remember you forever. Ultra Citron. Orange one, the red. The purple. The black cherry. So many good ones that we lost over the years. And we just ended up with these tropical, boring flavors. Who wants watermelon and pineapple and the mango? Honestly, I know if you're originally from Southeast Asia or South America, the mango is one of the favorites, I think. I just need my old ones back. One more set. If I increase the weight here, it will be a lot of sort of uncertainty dealing with a heavier load. So if I want to ensure some progress without necessarily increasing the weight, I just want to crank out as many reps as I can. So the previous set felt pretty good. I think I'm aiming for 9 or 10 here, which will be definitely a massive record. That was hard. Even 8 would have been a record. This is a massive record. So it would be some cables now, but instead I found an empty corner in the gym, and we would need to do some dumbbell rows anyway, so I'll just do these first. Here I just want to yank the weight a little bit, so it's not gonna be super mega clean, especially not for the warm-up. I want my shoulder blade to go forward. I want the rest of my spine to stay in place. I am letting my shoulder blade move a lot, but otherwise there's not much else going on. And my supporting arm is constantly pushing me away from the bench again, so I don't end up falling towards it. I was talking so much I didn't pay attention how many reps I was doing. So I just go by feel on the other side as well. Same thing. Left arm pushes me away, right shoulder blade moves along. Tiniest amount of rotation happening at the spine, but no flexion, no extension, and I'm constantly going towards my pocket, not up to the ceiling. 2 sets here as well. The previous record here was 45 for 6, 42.5 for ugly 8. That's what we're trying to beat. That's definitely what I call an ugly 7. You could see that my shoulder blade was rolling forward a little bit on the very last rep. I was doing a little bit of this. Instead, if I want to shorten the lats, I want to put my shoulder blade back and down and then drive my elbow back. By the end, my shoulder blade was rolling forward. So I just noted that as ugly 7. But if you can maintain the ugly 8 or make it even a pretty 8 for the last set, that's good. potentially even uglier 7. As we discussed, we're dropping down to 42.5 for the last set. What I also wanted to talk about is, in my previous video talking about full body training versus body part splits, I got a lot of hate, which I love, because what I'm talking about is true. So whether you accept it or not, that's up to you, but getting so much hatred means I'm right about something that not many other people are right about, and I love that. And to one person in particular, trying to use gay as a slur is the most medieval low IQ thing you can do. Like, I don't even know what you are trying to refer with that, or how it's meant to be offensive. If you tell me I'm gay, all I get is that you think I have a great sense in fashion and amazing personal hygiene, so thank you, I guess. All right, if we get ugly 8, that's a PB. Not ugly 8 is a massive PB. Let's go. Ugly 9, ugliest than ever. And all those people talking about how body part splits are amazing, I challenge you to train at this intensity. There is a reason I'm doing 2 sets. After 2 sets at training at this intensity, you're cooked. Do you think I would be able to do another 3-4 back exercises after this? My back is cooked. If you're efficient enough, this is enough. If you train hard enough, this is enough. I'm starting to even go a little bit more extreme and start to think, if you are training, let's say more than 3 or more exercises for the same muscle group, you are just not training hard enough. You're wasting half of the time spent on those exercises. All right, ugly 9, ugliest 10 ever. Matching it on the second arm, let's go. Easy. Some general training principles, you can see that my warm-up set versus all my other sets are not that different. All the reps are pretty standard in terms of how much range I'm using, what tempo I'm using, and how I move between the 2 endpoints. This is something I talk a lot about. Tempo, range, and path of motion has to remain the same if you want to be able to measurably make progress. You can obviously see that in the last 1 or 2 reps, potentially I'm accepting some form breakdown, but it's really not that much. And the last thing regarding all the hatred on YouTube, what I'm doing with clients is exceptional. I don't really see anyone get results like we do with clients. How I'm doing it is based on a lot of research, a lot of science, and a lot of experience. Experience with hundreds of clients, thousands of hours spent on the gym floor, thousands of hours studying, and probably a few thousand training sessions myself. Just because you come onto my YouTube video and tell me I'm stupid, nothing will change. My methods have a track record of working better than any other method out there. So if Jeff Nippert came onto my YouTube and told me I was stupid, I would probably reconsider what I'm talking about. You random person giving me some hatred in the comment section, it's not gonna change anything. You're entering my world. You have an opportunity to learn. If you're not open to learning, that's fine. Just, why are you here? And if you are open to learning, commenting stupid stuff, it's probably not the way to do it. It's now 8:10 a.m. and the gym floor is even busier than before. It's like peak time. In about 30 minutes, everyone will disappear. And I don't want to leave this nice and quiet corner. I want to just keep doing stuff here, but unfortunately other things are waiting for me. Let's go. Next exercise. Oh my God, David, you're so weird. This is a weird one, even for me, but it's my actually new favorite that I absolutely hate. If you try this one, you will quickly realize one of 2 things. 1, you can't do it. And 2, if you can, It's the best leg exercise ever. Really opens up your hips and it literally trains everything around it. My adductors, my glute medius, my entire glute actually, the lateral side of my quads, which is something I haven't experienced before. It's crazy. Unfortunately, one leg at a time as well. So you have to double the sets basically. I urge you to try it. Because of the Zercher position, so the bar sitting on my elbow, it feels really nice on my back as well. I have a lot of tension across here at the very bottom of the ribcage, and because of the Zercher hold, it really loosens that up. And at the bottom, because you're holding it in Zercher, you also have to combine it with some level of rotation so you can get past your knee with the bar. And again, they just freeze it up. So if on the way down you breathe in, you get a lot of air in there. It's really good to expand that lower rib cage. All right, 35 kilos, which sounds pathetic considering I was doing 20 something a few weeks ago. I'll take it. Oops, gotta wiggle my pants higher. 7 is a record. A lot of my training nowadays is about getting into end ranges. We can call it mobility training as well, but I really think mobility is getting to the end ranges, spending some time there, and over time, because of the time spent there mostly, these end ranges sort of improving or expanding. So I think sitting down on your ass on one side with 35 kilos in front of you is a pretty cool thing to do. And as I keep getting older, I probably want to remain able to do that. Also, many years of sort of training more bodybuilding style, sort of always similar movement patterns, which I talk about in my Why Your Upper Back is So Tight video as well. If you haven't seen that, check it out. Since I stopped training that way, most of my pains are now gone. My mobility improved a lot. I just feel much better. I'm not as tight in areas like my whole upper back or like the lower rib cage that I showed. We're having some dextrin here. Cyclic dextrin, super easy to absorb. Nice during your training session. But sometimes it gets clumpy and it's basically a massive bowl of sugar and it's really disgusting. It's a disgusting consistency and I forgot to add my BCAAs to it. By the way, BCAAs are a complete waste of money. It's only for flavor, but that flavor is exactly what I need not to want to throw up from this. One more leg. The curse of double-legged people is that they have to do twice the sets of split squats and Cossack squats. Let's do it. Getting my pants a little bit higher so it doesn't stretch on my knee. Obviously, we're just trying to match the numbers here and get 8 reps here as well. You know this video when they just keep dancing to find their ideal foot positioning and then it eventually just turns into salsa? Obviously the goal is to remain as upright as possible, especially in the end when form is breaking down, not to lean forward. Now, I'm asking you again, people that give me shit for training full body. If my last set looks like this, do I need another 3 or 4 leg exercises? Or do you need to up your training intensity and spend less time in the gym? Okay, new favorite exercise of all time. One arm Y raises. Nothing has ever targeted my lateral delts as much as this one. And if you say, oh my God, David, but your lateral delts are shit. Well, I can't argue with that. They really are. But that's kind of the whole point. If you find someone who has amazing delt genetics, probably you will also find that they have not as much knowledge on how to actually grow it because they were just given it. Same as how I am with abs, for example. If you want to learn how to get good abs, don't ask me, because I was just given a very good set of abs. I didn't master the craft of building them, but delts, I've tried everything to grow them, literally everything. And when I'm telling you, this is the one thing that really extremely works. And already in the last few months, I've been able to see a significant difference with. That means something. For those of you that don't know how to make micro increases in the gym, this cable stack goes 7, 9, 11, 14, 16. I want to do 14 is quite easy, so I want to do 15 kilos. I put a 1 kilo plate in here, and then I pierce it through the 14. So now I officially have 15 plus a lot of friction on a bad cable stack, less friction on a good one. 15 for 8, starting from the top. Shoot. You might have been able to see it. A lot of friction at the bottom because of the plate from around here. So you can see on this one, instead of just dropping my arm down like I would on a lateral raise, I'm actually coming forward and across. So I'm training the delt in a different plane, coming forward and across, following the cable. So the best cue here is actually pushing your arm forward and letting the cable drag you in a certain direction as opposed to trying to go there. Oh. Way harder than it was supposed to be. Honestly, I cannot explain how much of a better session this is than I expected on 5 hours sleep. And, well, not in the last many years have I trained this early. My first client came in at 7, threw up in the changing room even before the session started, and left. And then I have a gap. And then I will have 7 more sessions, a little bit of bachata, Latin dancing, taking RC as well. Also, can we just talk about the fact that my client comes in at 7, throws up, and then goes to work? Like, there are some hardcore people. I'm not saying it's a great thing to do, but definitely sets a sort of level of expectation, right? I'm surrounded by these kind of people, so I want to achieve more because everyone else around me achieves more. You can also potentially see that I look almost like I have some doubts at the moment from the crazy pump I got from these laterals again. I'm telling you, these work. Supporting with my non-working arm, starting from the top, turning a little bit towards the working arm, and then just going forward the whole time, letting my shoulder blade be dragged forward as well. And then as I go up, I'm just going on the same path, not just outwards, but slightly upwards. My body wants to move around, I don't let it. Oh. As you could see, the last rep was an assisted rep. It's helping out here. That's a 1 rep loss that I will completely blame on friction as well as exercise order. If I blame it on the exercise order, that means I have to credit the gains in the previous exercises to the exercise order as well. Beautiful. 10 to 9. This is when retired people and business owners train. Turning towards the working arms, starting from the top, pushing forward, coming across in front of my body. Beautiful. Bicep curls. I was quite grumpy in this video. It was mostly because I was intimidated in the beginning by all the people that were here. Now it's much nicer. All right, we're gonna do a little elbow warm up and I will talk through the exercise as well. I'm putting handles on an easy bar so it lets my wrist move as it wants to. And how it wants to is, it probably wants to supinate as I go up and turn towards each other as I go down. I'm keeping my shoulder blades forward the whole time. Here, I want to breathe in on the way down and get a lot of air into my back. If you look at upper arm, shoulder blade, and rib cage position, it's very similar to the Zercher when I was holding the bar in front of me on my elbow. So I'm getting those front ribs down, getting my shoulder blades forward, and I will get a lot of expansion in my back. Again, wrists rotate freely, and my body doesn't move around at all. It's just my elbow cruising and straightening. Last time I did 55 kilos for 8 and then 8 again. As you can see, everything's 2 sets, everything's 6 to 8 reps. So relatively heavy. And because I hit 8 and 8 in the previous session, now I'm increasing the weight. So we're doing 59, still keeping it in the same rep range. Let's go. I realized the cam wasn't turning enough that way, so I was getting a lot of, again, friction this way. That's why I had to move. This is way harder than I expected it to be. Way harder. Okay, so something I'm really looking forward to today is buying a new cologne, as they call it. I always just call it perfume and everyone always laughs at me. Tom Ford Soleil Neige. Amazing. One of my clients wears it and he's very fancy, very nice, very high taste. And I think my brain associated his taste for luxury and how fancy he is with the smell. So now I love the smell. I tried it on, it was crazy. Usually I don't really make friends with any new fragrances for myself, so I'm really looking forward to getting it today. One more set here. If I get 6, I'm happy. Might squeeze out a 7th one. All right, 6 reps. Maybe 7. Easy 7. That's sad. Conclusion is I lost 1 rep on the laterals, which I'm not really blaming myself for. I did lose 1 rep on pressing, which is something that could have been prevented by simply sleeping properly. We increased the weight here, so it's not as upsetting, but way fewer reps than I expected. Okay, last thing we're doing today, muscle ups. Why, you ask? Because I can. Jokes aside, as I age and as I get heavier, actually, I want to be able to keep doing them. It's a skill I don't want to lose. And actually, one of my goals is to integrate more sort of dynamic, more explosive movements as well. So this is perfect. It's literally 2 sets per week, so nothing major. I'm still having a long rest because with the last set of biceps that I did, again, the full body training shamers could do another 5 bicep exercises. For me, it's enough. And it would prevent me from doing even a single muscle up, so I'm having a long rest now. The last thing I potentially wanted to mention is one of my mentors and someone I really look up to, Angus Bradley, has this favorite quote from a media person, which says, "The medium is the message," meaning whatever media you decide to communicate through will determine what the message is, really. And I thought a lot about that quote, but I never really learned to appreciate it until very recently, because now that I started my YouTube channel as well as the newsletter. By the way, if you haven't subscribed to the newsletter yet, do, because it's amazing. It's my favorite piece of content that I put out every week. And it's really interesting to see how my YouTube channel just naturally tends more towards training, and how the newsletter just naturally tends more towards health practices, nutrition tips. Obviously, it would be very different to distill everything I was talking about in this video into a newsletter. So the medium really is the message. And because of the practicality of the newsletter and what sort of things it gravitates towards, especially with the formatting that I chose, which is a few sort of bullet points, I think it's very applicable, very useful, and definitely my favorite piece of content to put out. Okay, muscle ups. I'm gonna put the microphone down now, do 2 sets. I've never done more than 5 reps on this, so to be honest, as long as my weight is going up, maintaining the same amount of reps is progress, but I do definitely want to increase the number of reps as well over time. Let's see. I relocated onto the other cable stack. The grip on the other one is very sticky, doesn't allow my wrist to rotate around it, and you can at least see how beautiful this gym is. It's massive. It's actually closing down very soon. Definitely one of the largest gyms in central London, one with the most natural light as well. I will miss this place, and really nice people that I worked with here. Ugliest 2 reps ever. What I'm not admitting is that this was my 3rd time trying. Literally the ugliest ones I've done in a while. I'm really tired. All right, let's check out my physique. All right, this is what we're looking like at the moment. Obviously I'm flexing. Obviously I'm pumped. The abs are there still. Obliques are there. Some chest striations. Shoulder striations. Let's see the back. I won't be able to see it, so I just leave it to you guys. A little bit of spready. I'm not sure if I still have my Christmas tree. Anyway, 78 kilos. I know if you had to guess, most people guess in the mid-80s. I'm actually not that dense, sadly, but it's been much worse. I remember the time when my mom and I were celebrating when I turned 40 kilos, when all the other kids were like 50 something. So I really was skinny before. So anyway, I'm very happy with this. Being this lean at 78 kilos I'm very happy with.